Hey there, this is the Orlando Squadcast. It is your one-stop shop for all the latest news, history, and updates from the City Beautiful.
Hey, checkers.
Ooh. Yeah. The city is so huge, so there's a lot going on.
So tips, secrets, happenings, anything that's new that's happening, you're going to be hearing it here first.
Hello and welcome to the Orlando Squadcast, your one-stop shop for all the latest news, history, and updates from the City Beautiful. Join us as we explore the vibrant culture, people, and places that make Orlando so special. Get ready to be in the know and stay in the know with the Orlando Squadcast. Today, I am your host, Rob Stack, but right alongside me with hair as wild and free as the American spirit is my co-host, Jonathan Spiegel. Hi, Johnny.
Thank you. I feel like a Mustang with my hair in the wind after that introduction.
A wild stang.
Well, thank you so much. And the man riding us into the sunset, the man with the plan, our team leader, here he is. We got Mark right here. Mark, how you doing?
Good, man. Riding into the sunset. This is very specific. Yeah, man. The three of us back at it again.
Here we
I'm
go.
Pumped up.
Yeah.
So those who are listening, who returning listeners, thank you so much. New listeners, make sure you subscribe because this is a cool, fun. We have good guests and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. And if you're returning again, we just want to let you know you're our favorite listener.
Yeah. And we're going to be dropping episodes every Wednesday, so make sure that you tune in. We're going to be providing valuable content about Orlando. We're going to be talking about the people and places that make this town great. Our whole goal here is to connect to the community, and that's what we want you to do, and that's what we want you to feel.
We love Orlando.
Yeah, we love Orlando. So thanks so much for sticking around, and thanks so much for watching.
So Rob, what happened? What's going on?
What'd you do?
What'd you do?
What'd you do this week
in Orlando recently?
Well, I feel like I'm being interrogated.
Well,
here.
Tell us now.
Tell us.
Oh
Why
my
don't you just
gosh.
tell us?
Okay.
Look at us both at the same time.
I went to Revolution. What is it? Let me see. I forgot the name of it already. Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's this place called Revolution Outdoor Extreme. It's in Claremont, Florida.
Ooh.
Yeah. So what they do, it's really cool. If you've got like kids that, maybe a little bit older, like to get muddy, or if you're just like a really active adult, they do like guided motorized tours.
It's outside?
It's outside. So
cool.
you can rent ATVs and do like this guided ATV tour. You can rent a dune buggy and ride dune buggies outside, or you can go and rent this thing called a mucky duck. What's a mucky
duck?
What's a mucky
What's a
duck?
mucky duck,
Rob?
Rob?
What's a mucky duck?
So a mucky duck is this thing that you can basically ride in. It goes on land and it can go in water. So you can be like traversing the terrain outside and then like see a lake and then just go right into
It's just
the
an
lake.
open field? Like you can just...
It's like several hundred acres of land in Claremont.
Oh, my word.
that
Fun.
they've,
How have I
like,
not
sent-
heard of this?
It's really, really cool. But
Any-
they also have, so they have, and they do wave runner rentals. So you can rent some wave runners if you like.
What?
Wave runners.
Of course you can.
Yeah. And they have this one package called the Surf and Turf where you can like rent ATVs and do like the wave runners. How cool is that?
That is cool. Which one
That's
did you
pretty
do?
cool.
I did the ATVs.
Was it
ATVs.
awesome?
It's so awesome.
A lot of dust.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, a lot of dust.
Lot
You'll
of
get
dust on
dirty.
ATVs.
Adult. That sounds fun for adults too.
It is fun for adults.
Yeah.
But they also have non-motorized events. So like there's like clay shooting if you're into clay shooting. They have target archery, and they also have archery tag.
What?
Archery
So you
tag?
can shoot
Yeah.
each other?
Oh yeah, what is target archery? Archery tag, yeah.
Like laser tag, but
But with archery, like with
bows
archery,
and arrows?
with bows and arrows.
It kind of
It's
sounds
super
like
cool.
sounds dangerous. But I mean, I'm not a...
what's
I
that
like
one movie
danger.
where that girl used a bow and arrow and she like
Hunger
kisses her
Games.
hands? Yeah, it
Hunger
sounds like
Games.
Hunger
Hunger
Games
Games.
style.
Oh yeah, it's super cool.
Live
They have
Hunger
obstacle
Games.
courses, so it's like paintball but with archery.
Oh my
Can't wait.
gosh.
Cool, right?
That sounds fun.
Team building exercise.
That'll be fun.
Why not?
That sounds good.
And
You
then
guys-
they have bass fishing too. So
Oh, I love...
Hopefully
I
not
would-
in the same place as the wave runners.
yeah.
Yeah, and the archery.
Yeah, but
It's all one big room.
You just
I
you
don't
just
know.
ride around
Yeah,
shooting
shooting
the
things.
fish
That sounds
on your
great.
wave runner.
It is super cool, but you should go and check
Yeah.
it out. And
Yeah,
if you've got
that's awesome.
kids, you should definitely do it. We have a great guest on our show today.
Yeah,
we
we
have
do.
Omar Jose Cardona, which if you don't know who Omar Jose Cardona is, then you're stupid. No, I'm just, but you should know. He's an
Look it up,
Orlando
yeah.
native, and he was on the season 22,
Last season's.
last season's The Voice, and he was the fourth place
Yeah,
and
he's a local celebrity.
he's
awesome.
yeah. He grew
He's
up
such a
here.
cool guy.
He is such a cool guy, so grounded, so down to earth, and he grew up here in Orlando. He worked for the theme parks. He started, doing conventions and has an epic.
But what's cool about
part of
what he's going to do is he's going to give us insights on the filming of The Voice, like what they
Oh
did,
yeah,
like
all the
secrets
stories
behind.
and that is what I think is super cool.
Yeah, it is
I can't
gonna be
wait.
Fun.
But I think before we get into that, we should probably do a little O-Town throwdown.
Go down.
All right, I'll start it off with the local yokels. What's
All right.
happening? What can we go do? Well, this is pretty easy, and most people know it, but I don't think they do it. The Orlando City season is happening right now. So Orlando City, the stadium is so fun. It's so vibrant. You don't have to get a season ticket. You can just go one time. There's a couple games coming up at home. April 22nd, April 29th. April 29th is against LA Galaxy. They're a super good team.
Yep.
So you can go there. Tickets go from anywhere from $19 to $200.
Yeah.
So if you're on a budget, you can go. And the stadium's actually really, it's not that big. So wherever your seats are pretty cool. What you guys probably didn't realize is that they have 4 local pubberies, bars that are teamed with the Orlando City, that are Orlando City specific bars.
What?
During their game, you go there and it feels like you're at a home stadium.
No way.
Yeah, super cool. It's the Sly Fox Pub, Wall Street Plaza, the Hammered Lamb, and Kiwi's Pub and Grill.
Oh, Hammer and Lamb is partnered with them. That's
They're
cool.
They're literally, it's on their website.
That
It's
is
so
awesome.
cool. So you go there and you full on Orlando City gear. They have
that's
it.
cool,
They
man.
play the games, and so on April 15th they play Minnesota,
Mhm.
and you go. I mean, every month they have all these games. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I'm
a
kind
really
of pumped.
good
I haven't
time.
gone to the pubs yet, but I think that'd be super fun to go. Like as a, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
As a local,
totally.
be like, let's cheer them on.
I know we don't have a lot of like sports teams here.
Yeah, no,
Like,
but the
this
Orlando
is the
City,
biggest one.
People
And
love Orlando
People
City, man.
do love
It's so
Orlando
fun,
City,
man.
and the
Yeah.
games are a lot of fun.
Yep. So hit that up. So that's
Oh.
my local yokel.
That's a great local yokel.
yeah, I
That's
think.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but at the same time, I don't think people do it enough.
I
you
think
know?
I think they're still trying to get a lot of engagement. They're trying to
Yeah,
get
I mean, the
base
fans are
out
the
there.
fans, right?
Yeah.
But like a local, just be like, oh, what we should do, or a
Yep.
tourist even go see a city. Orlando
It's,
City game.
it's right here, and it's really fun.
Yeah, it should be. So let's swing it over to Johnny, our local park narc, our
Cool.
theme park
Yeah,
narc.
and he's gonna
What do you
give us
got?
the
What do you
inside
got this
tips.
week?
Yeah, so this week is a theme park hidden gem that's here in Orlando. Not a lot of people know about it. It is it's a hard ticketed event kind of day pass thing. So they
Okay.
have a certain number of tickets that they sell per day. I'm talking about Discovery Cove. Okay, so it's right over by SeaWorld, kind of tucked away back in the lush foliage back on the west side of SeaWorld. It's a self-encompassed, it's almost like an all-inclusive resort, but it's a theme park. So they have different sections where you can go to and different areas where you can see the animals. You can see sea otters. They have a lazy river. They have a place where you can swim with the dolphins, that type of things. But they also have snack stands and food huts all over the place. So anytime you're hungry, you want a little snack, you just go over there, just like a cruise ship,
Yeah.
right? Or an all-inclusive resort. And you just grab your food, grab a snacks, free ices, free
Free
Coca-Colas,
ices?
all that stuff, all
Worth
through the day.
Worth the admission right there.
Yeah, they have banana ices. That was one of my favorite
Oh,
ones.
man.
Yeah,
Oh,
did a
yeah.
banana.
No, I've heard amazing things about.
It's
Discovery
so
Cove.
And you've never been?
amazing.
Have
I've
you
never
never
been.
been? Have you been, Spiegel?
Yeah, I've been like 3 times. So whenever I worked at SeaWorld, I got a discount to go to Discovery Cove because, like I said, it's a hard ticketed thing.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit pricey. However, it's worth every single penny.
Do you
I
need?
love it.
Do you need a regular SeaWorld ticket to go to Discovery Cove, or is it completely separate?
It's a completely separate
Okay,
ticket.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
completely separate thing, and it's only open from 9 to 5.
Oh,
That's it.
amazing.
so you
So
go
Those
it's
who
there.
have
just like,
been, go
that's
ahead
it.
and comment below. Like, what are your favorite things to do at Discovery Cove?
Yeah.
I would
know?
have to say I'm a huge snorkeler. That's what me and my wife do in our spare time. Whenever we try and go places, we try and do a little
Yeah.
snorkeling excursion there. So you can snorkel and do a little free dive down there, and you can go down to the little trenches and you just look up and see all the
that's cool.
fish
That is
swimming
cool.
above you.
And that's where you swim with the dolphins. That's where you can like. Do
Yeah.
they have like?
All right, Discovery
petting-
Cove. Go do
The
it.
water
that
is
sounds great.
cold because it's like ocean water,
Yeah.
right?
Should
so
be.
Yeah.
it's you got to wear a wetsuit and all that kind of jazz,
very
but
cool.
it's
All right,
awesome.
Discovery Cove.
Discovery Cove.
That's where I'll
Yeah.
do it.
All right.
All right, guys, we're gonna dive into progress or not.
Progress.
Progress?
And progress? Is it progress?
I don't know.
And that's where we basically look and see at the latest developments and additions to the city.
Mhm.
And we're going to debate whether or not we think it's a good thing for the city or maybe not. So this one, it's called Camp Pickle.
Oh,
Now, before you get excited, it's not what you're thinking probably.
Camp Pickle.
And I've got a little segment to read it. At the intersection of Central Florida's growing entertainment sector and America's fastest growing sport is a new concept dubbed Camp Pickle. look for its first site in Metro Orlando. Camp Pickle is a pickleball-themed food and drink entertainment concept being launched by Robert Thompson, the founder of the Punch Bowl Social. So it says, in 2022 report from the Sports and Fitness Industry Association shows that pickleball, a mashup of tennis, ping pong, and badminton, grew almost 40% between 2019 and 2021, making it the nation's fastest growing sport. The Camp Pickle concept is looking to capitalize on that craze with indoor and outdoor courts, but also to go further, locations will have a nostalgic Americana theme with a rustic 1940s summer camp aesthetic.
Oh, that sounds
Right?
awesome.
Nice.
Camp Pickle figures to have several options for food and beverages and a food hall style layout that will also feature a scratch kitchen, as well as other amenities and spaces for different activities and emphasize activation, engagement, and socialization.
When's this open?
So they haven't picked a spot yet.
Oh, I'll help.
They are shopping a spot, but it is coming and they want it to come quickly because the
Yeah.
craze is still happening.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
They said areas with a lot of tourism, traffic, and residential density will be prioritized,
I drive.
noting the areas around International Drive, Dr. Phillips, and Disney as potential candidates. They will also take a look at denser markets further north and east, such as Winter Park, Longwood, Lake Mary, or in East Orlando near UCF or
That
Waterford
that
Lakes.
spot near that lake where Crossroads was, in Lake
Yeah.
Buena Vista, that's like demolished now. I wonder what they're gonna do.
Oh.
Remember that?
Well, it needs to be a lot of space. So I know it's
Yeah.
going to be a big hall.
Pickleball's a craze. A
Have
lot
you
of
played it?
No, I have not. A lot of professional athletes do it like on the side.
Do you know that Orlando just got a professional pickleball team?
I didn't know there was a professional pickleball team.
What are we called?
It is. I don't know.
The
Look it
Picklers?
up.
The Pickle.
No, the Tickle Pickles.
The
Orlando.
They Orlando tickle my pickles.
Piccolo.
No, but they
Piccolo.
just built
Piccolo's.
new courts somewhere
awesome.
down here, and
I'm
it's-
gonna Google that.
I mean, so my
afterwards.
son takes tennis lessons,
Yeah.
and like anytime we go for to get their courts, they're always reserved, and there are always people playing pickleball.
I
It's
can't wait for that.
What do you
It's
think,
awesome.
Mark? Progress?
1,000%.
right.
Yeah, because even the way they're theming it 1940 style,
Yeah.
so it's like
That's
a summer
cool, yeah.
camp.
Yeah,
That's
Well,
amazing.
I mean, think about
it's like Dirty Dancing.
think about axe throwing. Think about how big that got and how quickly
Yeah,
it got. And
sure.
now there was like one maybe in town, and now there are like probably 4 or
yeah,
5,
it's the same
6.
as like the escape room and all
yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
So now they're
Pickleball
gonna,
though is you're more active and,
And
it's
they
definitely
said,
more
who
active,
do you think you can throw an axe and have beer in the same establishment? And they said, we'll show you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
You know,
but
so-
pickleball.
But I tell you what,
pickleball-
they had a hell of a time getting insurance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
did.
did.
Yeah, lots of insurance.
Well,
I can't wait. Progress.
That was progress.
Progress, yeah, for sure.
Cool. Guys, I can't wait for our next guest. Should we bring him on?
Yeah, let's bring them on.
Let's bring
do
them
it.
on.
Yes. Well, here we are. We're back. Thanks for joining us. Our next guest is an Orlando native. Since high school, he's been performing in Orlando and around the world in various musical venues, theme parks, concerts, stages, YouTube videos, cruise ships, and most recently, television shows. He's an avid music lover, gamer, and a gnarly shit-talking shortstop. Along with pursuing a career as a singer-songwriter, he currently can be seen as a guest singer with voice play and lead vocalist for his group Epic Party Band. His most notable and recent achievements are 4th place contestant on NBC's 22nd season of The Voice and recent father to his son, Luca Cardona. Ladies and gentlemen, our dear friend and the best singer that I know and I've ever heard,
Ever.
Omar Jose Cardona.
Dude.
Thanks for joining us, Omar.
Thank you guys. That's crazy.
Oh,
I got a little choked up. Right?
Dude, you
got a son?
That
Probably
was my
heard
favorite
that.
part of doing that. I was like, I get to write this
Wow.
thing.
Yeah.
If I make him cry, I win.
Oh, dude.
Well,
I
an
was
intro
like-
with your son. That's like that.
I know.
That's
That's
new,
that's
man.
the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, new chapter in
Like
your
that.
life.
Dude, we're
Well,
pumped you're here, man.
yeah,
we were
we
just
are.
like
Dude,
riffing
no.
and we weren't even recording. So
No.
I'm
Yeah.
excited about this.
I mean, for the listeners, Omar, we've known Omar. We've all kind of worked for Disney and
Mhm.
Universal together, and we've known Omar for so long. And
Yeah.
he's just to like when I first heard him sing, I was like, oh, this dude is talented. He's gonna go places, and he has, and like it's continuing to
cool.
skyrocket. And I think we're all excited to see where your journey goes.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
personally,
Yeah,
I
me
remember.
too.
Personally, I remember like we've worked with you, and his voice is your voice is sick. It's like
It's-
ridiculous. And all of us were, I was like, dude, why is he still here? Why is
I
he needs to
know.
go do something big?
Yeah.
And then when you got on The Voice, I feel like it was like
Yeah.
gratification for
Every-
all of
a
us.
sigh-
Like,
everyone's
yeah.
sigh
Sure.
of relief.
See what we're talking about?
Yeah.
The whole world. We're like,
And
this is what we were talking about.
To hear like John Legend and I mean the whole judge panel just kind of like their jaws drop. It was validating.
It was
Yeah, it
so
was.
validating as your friend, man.
Yeah.
It was
Off
so cool.
camera, I was telling Smigo that,
Yeah.
geez, that we were trying to put Orlando on a map for something other than
Theme
the
parks.
Orlando
Yeah.
Magic or the
Mhm.
theme parks and stuff like that. So Like it was a moment I was like, I'm here to make my family proud, myself proud, but also like my city is such an important thing to me. So
well, I want to get into that. Okay, so the first question, before we get into your like musical career and achievements, you grew up in Orlando. Can you like tell us a little bit about like your family, your experience here, where you grew up, your life here?
Originally, my parents are from New York. They met in New York. My sister was born there, and then they moved down to Orlando, where my brother and myself were born at. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't remember the hospital right now, but yeah, I grew up on the east side of Orlando, like over by UCF, and I went to University High School. Like I went to the bowling. I grew up at that bowling alley. That's right across the street on Colonial.
I go there.
They have a comedy shop or something there, don't they? Yeah. Bonkers Comedy Club is over there.
Of course you know that.
Well, I mean, I get free tickets every other week. You know, I mean, what can I say?
No, that was my stomping grounds, man.
What was it like growing up? I mean, like nobody's from here.
Yeah,
Everybody's
Orlando has changed so much in like the last 15 years. So.
Also, the times have changed. Like I was an outside kid. I was always with the neighborhood kids. We were playing baseball on the street. Like if you hit it over the power lines, it's a home run type of thing. You know, so that's how I grew up. You know, it's a little different now. Everything is like
everything is different. I was
digital
the same way.
now.
I barely wore shoes as a kid. I grew up in Florida. Like
dude. Laying in the gutter while it was raining, so it was like a waterfall. As a kid, I was like, "It's the coolest thing ever."
We
like
got
drinking out of a green hose out the the best water you ever have. You know, as a kid, tastes terrible now, but everyone's like Brita, and I'm like, "No, you gotta try the hose, man. You
green hose." And the green one, for some reason, made it a little better.
So you played a lot of sports growing. I mean, were you singing right away, or what?
We've always sung in the house and sang at church. We were pretty involved in the church. And that's how we started singing.
Your mom and your dad too?
Yeah,
as well.
My mom was like the praise and worship director for the youth kids, and she sang praise and worship with the adults as well. We had a pretty massive church, a few thousand people.
Oh wow!
So there was multiple services. It'd be like an 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12 a.m. like type of service. So we would sing at all their services and be involved in the church. My dad was a sound guy for the church, but mainly I was a ball kid. Like
I was gonna say,
I grew up playing baseball,
and you thought you were gonna do that professionally.
That was it. That was the only dream I had as a kid. And even when I started singing and started realizing, I was like, no, baseball that's my love for life right now. That's what gets me up in the morning when I was a kid. And my dad was a killer ball player. My grandpa was a killer ball player, you know, and they stopped it. They stopped pursuing their dream to help the family and work for the family and stuff. So I was like, oh, that would never be me. And then I really fell in music, and you're like, music. I was like, I guess this is what I'm supposed to be doing, is music. Yeah, but
so
I had
the first time he opened his mouth on the microphone, everybody else was just like, "We quit, we're done, thank you."
That's what I did. I was like, "I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm selling real estate."
And I watched DJ do it for so long. Like my brother, like he's such an incredible singer. So
EJ and I was doing a show at Valencia. I was doing cabaret in Valencia.
Yes, I saw that.
That's where I met EJ. And like to me, I didn't really know him that much. I know I was busy. I was going to UCF, but I was doing the show, and EJ was in the show. And to me, he was that kid that would sing my songs in the wings.
Like way better than you.
Way better than me. And I'm like, can someone tell this kid to shut up? He's really good.
Yeah, no, I grew up chasing him, man.
Yeah.
So then what was the turning point going from playing baseball to like, oh, I should maybe do this?
Yeah, I did a musical in high school.
What one? What was it?
Which one?
I did I guess the one that really changed me was Aida. I played Rodney.
Perfect role for you.
And that's when I was like, oh man, this is so
that was like
awesome.
musical rock. You're like, oh, wait a second.
Taking like a bow, like in front of a applauding audience is like a different feeling.
Different. It's so different from being on the ball field, which I love being on the ball field.
Sure,
it was a moment I was like, oh, they love me. They truly love
validation.
Me.
Praise.
You're like, I just finished and they're all clapping. What?
I just sang a song. Wow. I tell people all the time, I cannot complain for whatever job I do. I'm a singer. Like, it ain't that serious, guys. We sing songs, man. We just make people happy. Like,
I mean, it's not that serious, but at the same time, music is the universal language.
It is.
You know what I mean? So the beauty of seeing you sing a song is that you make it look so effortless.
Well, that is another thing I was going to ask you. Like your voice it's different, right? Like your range is crazy. Like the way that you can contort your voice and do runs. Have you always been able to sing like that, or did you like really like hunker down and work on it?
I think for the professional ear, I think people would have recognized that I had potential growing up and stuff, but it was a matter of like how far did I take it, and my musical influences as well. Like listening to, I don't think I would have learned how to riff as much if I didn't listen to J Moss or Smokey Norfolk growing up. These are gospel artists, major gospel artists. So if I never listened to them as much as I did, I probably would have never learned.
So are you more? Did you more take classes, or did you just listen?
Oh
and
no,
mimic?
I was gonna say, did you?
Yeah, I've never taken a single class.
Wow.
Except
so
for
you
like
would just mimic what you heard on
chorus
records
in high school. Like I did chorus.
That's just like group
that's just hanging out.
classes.
But that, other than that, EJ and I just learned on
just
our
mimic.
own and mimicked, listened, and read up on. Google is
Super
and
powerful.
YouTube are like super helpful. So
I mean, I learned to play guitar. Like I had a boombox, and I would put on Green Day, and I would just like I was self-taught guitar. So and that's how generally like I grew up with not a lot of money. So I had to figure out how to do things on my own, and that's how I did it too. I would just kind of mimic what I heard on the radio.
It's helpful because you take what someone does so great, and then you try to apply it to what you do.
Yeah,
your own,
and then find that marriage and amongst that. So
There's also a thing in professional singers that's interesting. Whenever you to a professionally trained ear, or even not, it doesn't really matter, but whenever somebody's singing like that, everybody has that signature kind of lick in their run where they kind of like fall back into it. They have like in their back pocket. And then Omar, you have like 70,000, I think. So like every time a note would come up, I'd be like, okay, cool, here's a note, and then there'd be like 35 notes later, and then all of a sudden you're back at it. I'm like, what?
No, I'll say that too. I've worked with so many talented singers, but I feel like the good ones have like 10 to 12 they go to.
Like tricks,
Dude, you
have an unlimited bag of tricks.
He's never done that. I can tell he's never done that run before.
Well, I would listen to it on The Voice, and like there was something new every single time, which is so cool.
Yeah. People ask me, or like, when your process for riffing, I've just collected riffs throughout my career, and I'm like, I can do that, and I just kind of like plug and play on what works, and like I can use the beginning of this riff and then tag it with a different one.
But your ear's so good that
it's
you
just
can
like remembering what you can do.
Well, you mentioned gospel music as well. I mean, like if you're sitting there leaning into some gospel music or some Southern Baptist, like they will dance, they will jam out. You go to some African American churches and they are jamming, dude, like full on.
Well, they're not thinking about what their sound like.
They're living in that moment, and those licks and those runs, I feel like sometimes are just like, when everybody's like, oh, that was nasty.
Yeah,
everybody has like the nasty face.
I could show you some artists.
Church has that for sure.
I can show you some artists that of riffs that I can't even touch. I'm like, what? It does not compute.
I know. I felt like when we would work together, you would always be like, you'd show me these YouTube videos of these artists and like Snarky Puppy and things, like all these amazing musical groups. You'd be like, watch this. These guys are like leading the show.
Yeah,
Dirty
Snarky
Loops.
Puppy. He's one dude that his riffs are just. And a lot of people say I sound like him, but he also sounds like Stevie Wonder, which I grew up listening to Stevie Wonder for I used to have the Greatest Hits album, and my mom broke that album 3 or 4 times, and I would buy the same album
one again.
Is that the one that starts with him whenever he's super young and his harmonica solo?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay, because I think I had that same one too, bro. And it started. I think I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Greatest Hits. Probably early 2000s.
Yeah.
So tell us about like your career once you started. Like, where did it go? Like, where did you go job to job until?
Yes. So 2 weeks before I graduated high school, I got the offer to do a High School Musical at Hollywood Studios when it used to be called MGM.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I knew I was going to be going right into the workforce before I graduated, which was cool. And I had no plans to go to college at that point. And I had like really good grades. I had like almost a 4.0 average.
And you were playing sports. So, I mean, you had like potential scholarships.
So I just never knew what I was going to go for college for. So I was like, I'm going to just jump right into the workforce. I did Disney for about 3 months, and then I got an offer to do Royal Caribbean. So I went on ships for about 1.5 years. And then I came home. And what was cool about being in Orlando and working for all the theme parks and stuff was that anytime I left left on a contract and I came back home, people were just like, hey, you want to learn the show? Like, we know you live here, so so and then I would leave again. So I would leave again and go do another contract and come back home, and in between work sub around Disney and Orlando and Universal. So and then it just like bounced from one gig to another, from Disney to cruise lines to Universal Studios in Japan, which I lived in there for 2 years, and then came back and started a band, and then that's kind of when my like takeover of Orlando began. Was
for
like,
sure.
I
An
wanna
artist
really
opposed to like
establish
a
myself
singer,
singer.
right? Yeah,
artist.
Right.
Because you were still doing like, I know you're doing Finding Nemo the musical at Animal Kingdom,
Beetlejuice.
and you're doing Beetlejuice. You're doing the
yeah.
theme park shows, but I know that's when you started your band,
I
and then
started
like your band
2
started
separate
blowing up.
bands, and we started working like the corporate side. And what I found the most fun was more interactive with the audience, because you're singing right to them.
Yeah.
and, you know, and it's more.
So you said you started 2 bands.
Yeah, I
What
did
was
one.
one was Epic, right?
One was Epic,
Okay.
and then the other one was called Generation Next.
Epic party bands, by the way. They do amazing songs, super high energy. How many people y'all got in that band?
We can go up to like 15.
15.
Wow.
They got a full
Yeah.
like brass section.
it's like Bruno
It's
style.
amazing.
I've seen
yeah, for
your
sure.
shows a couple of times, and they're just, I mean, high quality, amazing caliber. The
Yeah.
talent on every corner, and
Yep.
every person on that stage is
they're
probably
all, like,
the most
musical
talented
geniuses.
in Orlando.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. So what was the second band?
Generation Next. It was
Generation
it
Next.
was with Lisa's daughter Mara.
Okay.
Mara and I, and the band was a 4-piece band, so it was a smaller, more affordable band, high energy band for corporate stuff.
Yeah.
So and then we would do like the Orlando like club scenes as well, like Blue Martini and
sure.
Tin Roof. And,
That's why I first saw you.
yeah,
Blue
Bar
Martini on-
Louie.
on
Yeah,
Yeah,
Orlando.
for
Blue
sure.
Martini, that's
Yeah,
right.
So
So for those of you listening, like you can go, there's several routes you can go, but Orlando does have a lot of production companies, and they get hired out from third-party vendors like Disney and things like that. And so that's the route that you kind of grew. That's where you could kind of grew as an artist.
as an artist for sure, as the corporate world, like with Metropolis Productions. And
Yeah, Orange County Convention Center is one of the it's
Oh,
like the
yeah.
second largest convention space, and it just brings in so many conventions and corporate meetings and that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
And those are
and
the
all
type
these
of
whole market
massive
for that
hotels
here.
too, like the Marriott World Center and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
yeah.
The
and
market
those-
for that here is just astronomical.
And then they tie it up with a beautiful package with Disney, and then they're on a Disney property at a hotel, doing
Right.
these corporate
Singing
events, and so it's been
So you've done that basically like for a number of years.
for the last, I would say 10 years. The band
Yeah.
was together 10 years this year.
And then can you tell us a little bit about how did the voice approach
let's
you?
get-
Let's
let's
get
get
into
the
the
voice.
voice.
I wanna
This
hear
is
the
what
voice.
people want to hear.
Like,
Yeah.
since you've been on, I've been wanting to I want to text.
We want to rip into
questions.
it.
I know there. So I was actually driving to a gig for Epic, and it was at the Claremont Brewing Company, and a producer called me randomly, and a friend of mine was on the show 2 seasons ago, and he lives in Kissimmee actually, or 3 seasons ago, and his producer asked him who he recommended, and he was like, one dude, like Omar, and he gave her the number. She called me and she asked me if I'd be interested. It was like, is this serious? And
Right.
she's
Like,
like,
isn't there like
hey,
a weird?
like Jose told me that you're great. Like, I know that you auditioned 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
have you
remember.
auditioned for Voice and American Idol? Have you done
And
all that
yes.
stuff? You have, right?
Yeah, it was about 8 or 9 years ago.
Mhm.
EJ and I both auditioned for the
Yeah.
show. The first time I went by myself, and I got up to the producer round, and I never made it to blinds.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then the following year, EJ and I both went back and auditioned again, got up to the same point again, and that's when I was like, oh, I'm good. Like,
Yeah, I don't
I
need
They
tried.
weren't interested in the voice. They were interested in like the stories. I
Yeah.
feel like they wanted to
and I
like
definitely
contort
didn't
the story for.
have much of that.
Yeah.
You're just like,
So-
I'm good at singing, man.
Yeah,
I'm-
like,
I'm
how about
happy.
this?
I sang in church and now I sing good. Like, it's not much story.
Yeah,
but
life is good, bro.
Yeah,
Like, I don't,
they were
I
like
don't have-
boring.
Like,
Yeah,
well, I
my
stubbed my
parents are
toe
still
about a week
married.
ago, but other than that, I'm kind of
Yeah,
chilling.
other I'm good.
Can we
You know,
use
like,
that? Can we use the stub toe? No.
No,
No.
Thank you for coming, sir.
That was one of the things that we can get into. They asked for story packages. I
Yeah.
had to create like 8 different stories.
Wow.
And then they were like, "Oh, we'll use this story this week, and then we'll use this story this week."
Wow,
Interesting.
cool.
So
Yeah.
you had like preloaded up times of your life where
Yeah.
they'd be like, all right, and now it's childhood.
Yeah, and they're
You're
like,
all right, great.
we'll open the childhood folder, and it's like
Yeah.
a bunch
show.
of pictures.
I mean, it's a
you know.
reality show. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
show.
they
And we're on that journey. So when you got the call, then what was the next step?
Yeah,
man?
so they called me, asked me if I wanted to be involved in the next season, and
I remember
And
when this happened because I talked to you like 2 weeks before, and I was like, "Dude, you need to be on The Voice. What are you
We
doing?"
did.
And then 2 weeks later, I saw you at a bar again,
bruh.
and
you're like, "I'm on The
"I'm
Voice."
Voice.
No, it's
because of
nuts.
Rob.
Yeah, great job,
Yeah,
Rob.
you put that into the
I put it in the
ethos,
universe.
right? That's
Manifest
wild.
it,
Yeah.
you know?
No, so yeah, I recorded a couple videos for them because they wanted just to see me a current update of what I can do. And I did Separate Ways in my video, which ended up being my blind audition song, which was super cool that they kind of let me go with that route.
Right.
So, and I flew out there in like March, you know, to film the blinds. And what's cool is they give you a list of about 600 songs, you know, to choose from. And then they're like, oh, and on top of that,
600,
and you have to choose 12.
I get overwhelmed at a karaoke bar.
I'm like, I only know lyrics to 3, man.
When karaoke bar says 2, I'm like, I got one.
That's a it's a 2-sided page thing, and you're like, oh gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I'll do Sublime. What I got.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was 12 songs, and then in the body of the email, you're allowed to put 5 songs that you loved that weren't on the list.
Gotcha.
You know, and my number 1 song was Separate Ways.
Yeah.
So they were like, if we can get this approval, we'll just give you this one. So, and they ended up.
So is that super intense? Somebody who's so comfortable on stage, being thrust into that situation, I was getting nervous for you. I was like, and I've done a lot of shows. So I was like,
there's a lot more pressure.
That
when
seems
there's
way
cameras.
different than anything.
Yeah.
Was it
Live,
Did it
dude.
feel
Yeah.
it in real time?
Yeah, it was a weird feeling, honestly, because I was not nervous at all. But it wasn't from. I think I was just so focused on doing the best I can, you know, and like I didn't have the butterflies. I was super excited just to sing in front of people.
Yeah.
But and I was just like so locked in, you know, before I walked on stage that I was like
more than
the
usual,
nerves
you think?
I was like,
you're so competitive. So I imagine you know how it is to drop in that slot and just like
dude, and it was a long day. I was the last person on day 1 of auditions, you know, so I was.
You were the last one.
Well,
I was the last one.
I feel like they knew you were going to be. You're the finale. You know, you were the 4-chair turn.
Yeah, and they, I mean, they edit it as however they want
it to be. Yeah.
But I was there at 8 a.m, and then I didn't leave until it was almost midnight.
Wow.
Oh my word!
Because we had to wait for everybody to sing, and then the judges obviously they talk more than they show.
Did you bring a
on it.
snack lunch or something, bro?
They fed us lunch.
Did
and
they?
stuff
Oh
to
my
take care of
word!
us, but we were.
Yeah.
And then what's nuts, I thought they were gonna show it because we're in this massive hall where they have a bunch of different interview spots, and we're all kind of scattered with our family, and I'm in everybody's background like of their interview, and then it's
you were
like
there the whole day.
one person leaves and the next person leaves, and then it's just like Omar and Lisa and Richie in the back corner by ourselves, like. And they're like, they moved us like 10 times. They were like, hey, can you guys go sit at this chair, or you can come sit over here? And like, okay.
They're like, get them out of our shot. Like they are still here.
Every shot.
Every shot. Dude.
Yeah, we were the last person. And it ended up being kind of like a funny thing for the production staff. Like they would put me at the end of the day a lot at the time throughout the whole season, you know. And it was like Omar and the staff again, just hanging out.
Right,
you know,
right.
It's just
And no knock on anybody.
With a lot of them, I bet.
But
Yeah,
the blind
absolutely.
auditions, that was pre-recorded. That wasn't live, right?
That was pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded, yeah.
What was the gap between
It was
that
a couple months, wasn't it?
Yeah. So we filmed the blind auditions in April, and then we were home for about 2 months.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, and no, about a month, and then we went back to film the battle rounds. And
But that was live, right?
No, the battle.
the battles.
The
were
battle
live.
rounds
they
were and
Recorded.
we stayed there for a month to do the battle rounds, and then if you got past, you'd stay the next month as well to do the knockout rounds immediately instead
The
of
battle
a
rounds
break.
was 2. The knockouts were 3 people, right? You went
Battle rounds was Into the Unknown.
Yes,
into the unknown,
yes,
yeah. So it was like you partnered with somebody.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, and we were the last ones on our day, which was super sad because by the end of, it was the second. No, I think it was the first day. The end of the first day, they had no more saves. So we had 2 more days of filming that people had no chance to get saved. They're like, it's like whoever wins. We don't have any more saves because they used all the
used them
coaches
all.
used them up
What?
on the.
Oh,
on
that's
the
crazy.
wild.
That is
So
wild.
the reason,
The stakes
like,
were high. Like, for
yeah.
everyone.
So the reason why, like, Lana probably didn't get saved was because
There was no
there
opportunities
was
to.
no opportunity.
You guys were so
yeah.
good in that song.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. I didn't know it was like a remake of
Who picked
of the
that song?
John did.
John did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say earlier.
John Legend.
John
everybody.
Legend.
John
everyone, yeah.
Legend.
No knock on
John.
anybody that was in the show at all.
Freaking
Everybody's
legend.
phenomenal, and everybody performed very well. you just seemed very at home on stage.
Yeah.
So anytime, even whenever they added other singers in with you, it's like they were just more comfortable almost, it seemed. Like you just seemed like you were in your element. Do you think that all your previous performing experience got you ready for those moments?
Oh, absolutely. It was a collective of every moment I've been on stage that, you know, and at that point we decided when Lana and I got the song and we had a moment to ourselves, we had dinner that night together, and it was like, let's just make this the best duet possible, you know, and
It
not
really
make
was.
it
It
about,
was.
you know, on like a battle round, or like not make it about, I'm a feature here, I'm a feature here. Let's make this song
Just sing
together.
together.
And then you find your own moments to highlight yourself.
That was great.
It was so good. And like, I mean, they all stood up. It was amazing. To me, like, I got like, I don't know, I geeked out whenever like John Legend would stand up like during one of your runs or something. He would just get up and throw his hands up.
He said something one time. He was like, I don't even know how you did that. It was like,
dude, I promise
Does he smell good,
I was
by
like
the way,
peeking
Omar?
like this. Oh,
does he smell good, John Legend?
he smells amazing.
Dude,
His
I bet
hair
he
is
looks so good.
perfectly
It
cut
always looks
every
good,
day.
man.
His
skin is
skincare
perfect.
is gorgeous.
I've been wanting to ask you that forever.
glowing.
He
His
just looks like he
clothes
smells
always
good. Yeah.
look pressed. You know,
Yeah.
like
He looked like
John's
light would
life
just-
is incredible.
Yeah, I
like
bet.
he's got
He looked like he just like opened a room and like light would just like
dry ice flows in.
Yeah,
and,
the
like,
Matrix.
Like
He was
doves
just
go out
like-
behind
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
He's like,
John
I'm
Legend, if you're listening, we love you.
we love you,
And I want to
baby.
smell
We love
you.
Yeah.
In the most nicest,
Yeah,
manly
the
way
most
possible.
respectful way.
Respectful
Appropriate
way
manner.
possible.
Yeah,
I'll smell you
appropriate.
from a distance, bro.
Yeah, just
I
waft-
would just
waft it
waft.
No, he's
So
he's
battle
good.
rounds, and then you went live.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a time. There was a gap there too.
Yeah, we were after we filmed the battle rounds, we went into the knockout rounds, which we filmed immediately, and then they sent us home for about 2 months, and that's when they filmed the
exhausting.
blind. Yeah,
What?
that's when they filmed the blind auditions for the
For
next
this season.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
was in like September, October, or something
Gotcha.
like that.
I feel like if I was a coach, I'd be like, well, "Who are my people again?"
Yeah, you keep that
Exactly.
straight. That's insane.
Yeah, and then we didn't come back till literally I flew there, Halloween, October 31st.
Okay.
Really?
I flew back, and
For
then
lives.
He had like an apartment in
Lives.
LA. They just like
no,
hooked
they
you
put
up.
us. We were in a hotel, and
Okay.
we were quarantined because of legal
'cause-
issues and
Right.
COVID and stuff.
Still like on the tail end.
Yeah,
of it.
COVID compliance was pretty
So you couldn't
important.
just
LA
be-
was
so you would go
pretty locked
sing
down
and
on
just
that
be in
when
your
we were doing
head
stuff.
by yourself.
Yeah, dude, I bought
Did you bring video games? with
I
you?
bought a mini projector, and I set up my Xbox, and it was
Yes,
like
dude.
projecting on the
Oh,
hotel wall.
I remember you telling me about
Yeah,
that.
and I'd play, and then we would hang out. The cast would hang out
You
in
guys
the
could all
hallway
hang
and
out,
stuff
right?
like that. We weren't technically allowed to, but
But
you
you
know,
make it
we
work.
we hung out when we can and stuff.
Right.
And
So
yeah.
what was a day in the life like there?
On production days, like you would wake up at 8 a.m. and be in your transpo van at 9. You would go to one of the studios that they have. They had 3 separate locations: the actual filming location where they filmed the show,
Yeah.
and anything they wanted to do for B-roll stuff there. They had a rehearsal facility. And
Is that
then
where
they-
that was shot? Like, were you guys going through your songs and stuff?
Yeah, it was the rehearsal.
Is it
hall.
all on sound? Is it all in the same soundstage, or is it different
No,
areas in
it's-
Studio City?
It's The Voice has their own stage.
Okay, gotcha.
On the Universal lot. They
So
have
he's in
their-
LA, everybody.
Yes.
Yep.
He's in LA, NBC Universal, right? So they
Mhm.
have sound stages that designate for certain spaces. Okay.
where even the backlot tours go through and
Yep.
stuff like that for Universal
Mhm.
attendees, but they have their own building.
Cool.
It's-
Cool.
And
It's a
they,
big
and they
stage, yeah.
they gut it and flip it as much as they want.
Wow.
You know, inside. You know, and then they have off-sites locations where we go film like B-roll stuff
Okay.
and interviews with John Legend and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
Which we literally just get in a van. They take us. They drop us off. We work all day on B-roll stuff and interview, and we're in makeup chair immediately when we get there. And then they have us on a schedule. Dudes come and mic you. Like you walk in, and there's these giant like sealed doors. You know, you have to pull this big door in. And you walk on set, and you go do the interview process or your rehearsal process with the music, and
Right.
and then you walk offside. They take off your mic, and
Do you get to see that music before the person comes in? Before your coach comes in?
yeah,
You
so
get
they'll
rehearse it
get-
with the band first.
for the live portion, we got our song the week that we got there, and then we started working on it.
Who
So-
picked the song? Was it?
The producer. So it's another 600 songs they give you. You
Got
choose songs that you want to sing, and then you choose songs that you've never done before or
Cool.
that you would want to do on the show.
Okay.
And then they choose from there, and they kind of delegate like we can tie this story with this song, you know, and then we'll use this one, you know. So they ended up choosing a song for us, and then we sing the song on Monday on live television, and Tuesday is voting, you know, and that's a whole shoot day as well. Every day before we start the voting episode, you have to sing your save song in a rehearsal, just in case. Everybody goes downstairs, everybody practice their save song, and everybody goes back upstairs to get dressed. And then we start the episode live. And then if you don't use your song, if you get saved, you know, you just move on to the next week, and same process. But Tuesday night, like if you get saved Tuesday night, you're done by 11 p.m. You get home, you have the song in your for the next week in your email
already.
Wow.
You know, and some of the teams had to stay and rehearse their song that night.
Yeah.
After
So
they're
you
done.
get the song and you're like, I have rehearsal in an hour.
Oh my word.
The lives were insane. I can imagine that was probably a pretty intimidating experience just when it got live, because that's when the stakes were really high. And what a lot of people don't know is that at that time, December 5th, your son was born.
Yeah.
Like the day that you sang the song that you dedicated to your girlfriend.
Yeah. The whole package was created weeks and months in advance, you know, of collecting a package of how much I love Danny and our relationship and stuff, you know. And then it just so happened that the day they used that package, they chose it a week before. My son ends up having to emergency C-section. So
how did you do that? How were you like a mess? Were you
a complete disaster?
Because you found out before you sang the song.
Yeah, I found out hours before.
Hours beforehand.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right.
And then
oh my God.
she FaceTimed me. And
saw
there was a baby on her. She texted me like,
God.
I'm
Was production like, do you need to go home? Like what?
I asked them that I was considering going home, you know, and then I spoke to Danny about it and my mom about it, and they were like,
we got it.
Like, even if you leave right now, like
there's nothing you can do.
It'll be 8 hours, 10 hours before you get home.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing you can do. Finish this out for us. And, you know, there's only 1 week left. And at that point it was Monday. Like I didn't know if I would even been there, you know, for finale. Cause you know, it was top 8 and we just kind of went through it. So I remember FaceTiming her and there was a baby on her chest and I was like, and they're like basically places, you know, and then
you didn't know, right? This whole thing was a pretty big surprise.
It was a huge surprise, you know. And then I remember Bryce Leatherwood, that's my brother.
He seemed like such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Like he saw me freaking out. Yeah, it's crazy. And we went to like a small little room, you know, something like this. And he just kind of calmed me down and just chill, like we just spoke about it, and you know, and he gave me a lot of like peace about it. And it was like, we got to go to work, man. We got to go do this show, you know. And you know, he's like, go do it for him, you know. And it was a really like a core memory for me through that process.
Sure, your life changed right there in that moment. So like,
a lot
to
of
have him
options
there to bounce off what you were feeling, I'm sure that was helpful.
We they actually asked us, the producers and the storyboard writers, like story writers, were asked us if I wanted to talk about him on the show, you know, and tell the experience, because it's shit like that just doesn't happen.
No.
So like they were like, this would be a really great push, and I was just like, a part of me was just like, I probably could draw in a lot of, you know, sympathy votes as well, but it just didn't feel morally correct to expose him like that, you know, and use him like in that way.
I think that was a good choice.
We chose
not,
because he was not part of the original journey of you doing the show.
No, it wasn't.
Like throw him in at the.
Yeah, it was like it would have been like a Hail Mary, and I thought he deserved better than that, you know. So and we decided not to talk about him on the show until after. So, but it was everybody in the production staff knew, like people were. That's what I love so much, the connections I made with the like the stage managers and the, you know, the
coaches,
the PAs
cast,
that escorted us everywhere, you know, like the cast.
Yeah,
you're close to those people.
Rob, you mentioned that the production value alone of it just baffles you, you know, like the sets and like all those different effects, and like there's so many working parts to make a show like that function properly. You know,
dude, you have to see it one day, man. You have to go and sit in the studio audience, you know, and because it's wild. There's a little army, like this set changes. There's like 50 people come ants on stage, and they're like pulling cables they're all in line, and there's all these light cables flying through their legs because they're pulling them, and
Wow, man.
moving these set pieces. These giant walls open up, and it all rotates into another stage.
So
it's like
biggest spectacle that you did was probably Somebody to Love, right? That was
Yeah.
like the biggest spectacle that the
I would
show
say.
gave
So glad
to
you
you.
sang that
Yeah.
song. man.
Great song.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I'm glad they gave it to me as well.
Was that your favorite song that you sang, or was it a different song?
I think my favorite one was I Want to Know What Love Is, because
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never,
That was great too.
yeah, I've never played piano for an audience.
I didn't even know you could play. I was like,
Yeah,
mad
I
at
know.
you.
And I
I
learned.
was like,
I'm
why
like,
did I not
no,
know
come
this? I thought you were gonna fake it at first. I was like, Omar didn't know how to play.
More hidden talents.
You're like,
Yeah, you were
don't
killing
know.
it.
It's
Get outta
just,
here,
that's
man.
the
And
same
now
thing.
I can dance. too. I was like,
yeah,
what?
I knew he could dance.
The
You know,
Michael
I was like,
Jackson.
Yeah,
you
that was a
bring it
fun
at
one.
when'd you sneak that talent? in?
Yeah.
I was
Right.
like,
Yeah, no, I learned during
awesome.
pandemic. Like, so my brother grew up playing piano, like taking piano lessons and stuff, and
Yeah.
doing recitals and stuff like that. And I mean, again, I was the ball kid. My sister played flute, and EJ played piano, and I played baseball. That was our extracurricular activities that our parents would pay for. So I thought it was always super cool that he was able to. So I was like, one day I'll learn. And then the pandemic happened, and I was like, I'm dedicating at least 3 or 4 hours a day,
Wow.
to playing and just playing and practicing.
Sure.
And then now
Worked
I can say
out.
I can
Yeah.
pretty.
That
play
left hand is
chords.
no joke.
Oh,
You know what
I'm
I'm
a
saying?
chord
Like the
player.
melody is just so much fun, but
Yeah.
whenever you throw in that left hand, you're just like, I can play this song.
I know,
I
it's so
can.
different.
It's terrible.
That was
Yeah.
cool when you did that. I mean, even
Yeah, that
the
was
old
cool.
like American Idol days when they actually let them play instruments.
Yeah.
It was like a game. That was like, oh, that person's gonna win because they're
talented.
Yes, for
And
sure.
It's not karaoke
For sure.
anymore,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
like a real.
When I first heard the
artist.
song, I was like, oh, I don't know. This
Yeah.
one's a tough song. And then like you killed it. You brought down the house. It was incredible.
Another cool thing about that, I had 10 backup singers, 8 or 10 backup
Yeah.
singers,
Mhm.
and 2 of them were actual friends of mine that I've worked in the
No
studio
way.
world. So
No way.
And,
You
you
like have
know,
done sessions with them and stuff before?
yeah, they're so like, bro, you did it. I'm like, I made
Look at me. I'm in the front. I'm in the
Yeah.
front.
You're my
Yeah.
backup.
I think that every
It's
time I
so
watch one of those
cool.
shows, I'm like, those backup singers are probably way better than even maybe the singers. Sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
oh my gosh, the 3 like the ones that were there with us the whole season, they're incredible.
Mhm.
I mean, one of the guys was just singing backgrounds for Rihanna at the Super Bowl, and I was like watching the Super Bowl. I was like,
I know that guy.
Remember
It's
he
like,
was
what is
backing me
he-
up?
That's Steve.
He's like-
Steve.
Steve's
I was
crushing
like,
it.
look at him.
All right. Well, we have time for a few more questions before we get to rapid fire. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about is what are the advantages and disadvantages of being an artist in Orlando compared to maybe being an artist in another city?
I think the biggest advantage is that there are so many different things to do, and it like requires you to be versatile, which that has helped me work in the industry, is being able to sing pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So being in Orlando, you have to do it all.
You get your
a
chops in
way.
for sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say that. I mean, the most difficult thing about being in Orlando is that the looming shadow that Disney casts on
Yeah.
a theme park singer, and I think we're just so much more than that,
Yep.
and we have so much more to offer than
Absolutely. That was
so
the one
that's-
thing that I remember is just like hearing you in Finding Nemo, which is a great show and you sing a great song. But
we love it.
Yeah,
we all love it.
But I mean, they literally do strip everything that's special and they package it up and they're like, this is
Yeah.
what we want. This is what you need to
Because
give
the
us.
guests come to see the show, not
Yeah.
the performer.
Yeah.
We're just
Right.
part of the,
Yeah.
which is good. That's the whole. We
So-
understand what it is, but
Yeah, we
Cool.
understand.
that's a
Plus-
good one.
So what advice would you give like any aspiring artist?
Oh my gosh, if you're gonna do this, you have to do it. Like, you have to love it. You have to like, this almost can be the only thing you can do, because
Commit to it, yeah.
it has to. It requires a certain amount of time to put so much focus and effort towards, that you have to set aside that time, and you have to really commit to it, because if you just half-ass it, you're not
For
going to
instance,
get
like
as
you
far
learning the
as you
piano,
believe.
like you knew, like if I put this in my skill set, I can level up. So
Yeah.
3 to 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
That's commitment, man.
It was very important. It was very important. It's important to really do what you love and do with passion, and respect to everyone else that's done it before
Yeah.
you. So
I mean, not just that, like there's so many people doing it now and you have to be really good if you want to make
Yes.
make it. Like
Yeah.
just like statistics alone, like they're not on your side. So
No.
you have to commit to it and you have to give it 1,000%, all your time, energy, effort, love, blood, sweat, tears, everything.
Yeah,
So
me too.
and
It's
you've
that
definitely
Mamba
done that.
mentality, man. That Kobe Bryant mentality.
Oh, yeah,
that's
Mamba.
what it takes.
You
That's
know,
what it takes.
not as extreme as he went, but that kind of mentality
Yeah.
works. It's effective.
Well, we've enjoyed having you here
Oh, yeah.
today. We do this one little thing. It's called rapid fire questions.
Okay.
And we're just going to ask you some questions. We don't want you to think. We just want you to answer as quickly as you can.
Okay.
Be honest.
Okay.
Don't lie. Mark,
I'm doing it.
you start.
All right, I'm going to go backwards. Space Mountain or Splash Mountain?
Space Mountain,
Gatorland or Legoland?
Gatorland,
Nice.
Palm trees or oak trees?
palm trees,
Wet heat or dry heat?
dry heat,
AC, below 78 or above 78?
below 78.
Yeah.
Music or podcast in the car?
Music. Oh, none actually.
Ooh,
just
silence.
Zen.
Oh my
Just
God.
Pure-
like-
this is
No,
Omar's
he's like, I
secret.
make my own music.
I drive in silence. I do.
The older I get, the more I do that.
I do
too.
that
I'm like,
too.
there's so much noise
Yeah.
going on.
yeah.
It's been my thing since I was a kid. I drive in silence.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
All right, Harry Potter or Star Wars?
Star Wars, tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Clearwater Beach or Cocoa Beach?
Clearwater,
Water park or beach?
beach,
Restaurant Row or Park Avenue?
restaurant row,
Sunny's or Four Rivers?
Four Rivers,
Yeah.
Oh!
Good.
Do you sunbathe or do you swim at a pool?
swim.
Real golf or mini golf?
I played golf in high school, but mini golf.
So fun.
It is fun, yeah.
Sorry, Coach Jones.
All right. Favorite Orlando winter? Winter Park, Winter Garden, Winter Springs?
Winter Park,
Winter Park.
All right, Orlando Magic or Orlando City?
Orlando Magic.
Turn signal or no turn signal?
Guilty, no turn
I was waiting for somebody.
It was you on the way here, wasn't it? It was you.
God, they know I'm going left.
They know. There's no one
They
there.
know.
I'm leaning to the left. I'm veering that
Dang
way.
it.
Okay. Hard taco, soft taco.
Hard taco.
Legoland or Gatorland?
We asked that one.
Yes.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said-
Legoland.
Legoland.
Oh, no,
Legoland.
Gatorland. I said
He said
Gatorland.
Gatorland? Oh, but now we changed it.
No,
Both.
Gatorland.
Both now.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Foxtail coffee or Axum coffee?
Foxtail.
Icon Park or Old Town?
Ooh, Icon Park.
Cricket can or the wine room?
The wine room.
All right. I think that's good.
Yeah,
I think
that's
we did it.
awesome.
The wine room.
Yeah. Well, Omar,
too.
okay. So what's next on the horizon? Just real quick, what can we expect to see from you?
I am writing original music, which is
You better work.
super,
Can't wait.
super
I can't wait,
exciting.
too.
It sounds awesome. I'll tease it.
Oh, you're going to tease
Ooh,
it?
we
my
got
gosh.
tease. Oh,
You
an
gotta tease.
exclusive.
Like a
Orlando Squadcast
very
exclusive.
short teaser. Let me see.
Oh, this is
Oh,
cool.
I'm excited.
Just
What if
and
we
this
hate
is
it?
not even close to being done, but that's it.
Dude, that's awesome. What is that tune? I've
Yes.
heard that tune. What is that?
That's an original. I wrote that
I
myself.
feel like
That's
I know it.
Yeah.
I think I know it because it's been playing in our hearts for so long, Omar. You're
Yeah.
finally
Are you
speaking the
gonna-
language of us.
Is it coming out like the EP or what?
As of right now, I'll be signing to a label soon.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is
it's
incredible.
happening any
Fantastic.
any day now. They already gave me the offer. It's just a matter of signing.
Congratulations,
There
it
Omar
is.
Jose Cardona.
Where,
we have
where-
no
and where can they
plan
follow
right
you?
now.
Can they follow you on Instagram?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm Omar Jose Cardona on Instagram. I'm verified. Yay!
Yes.
Verified.
It should be the first one that pops
So with the
up.
blue check, right?
Yes.
All
it
right,
should- it
groovy.
should pop
Dude,
up.
we
That's
can't.
legit.
I mean, I think I can speak for everybody when I say we can't think of a more deserving person
Oh.
to
Thank you,
get the
brother.
fame and notoriety and
Yeah, you're so
accolades.
humble
Thank
and
you, brother.
appreciative, dude.
Yeah,
Humble,
it's
been
been,
hard
so fun.
worker.
it's been
great
amazing
guy.
to see you go from your starts at Disney all the way to where you've been. And
Yeah, I feel like in 3 years we can't even have him on the podcast.
No
Like, I'm
way.
booked,
we won't be
man.
able
I'm
to get
booked.
you. We
I'm
won't be able
gonna
to
be
get
here.
you.
I love
I'm on
Orlando.
Fallon.
This is my hometown.
Well, thank you so much for joining
Thank you
us.
so much,
Thanks for
Omar.
being
We
here.
love you,
appreciate you
dude.
so
We
much,
love you,
brother.
dude.
Yeah, man. And congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you.
Now get the fuck out of here.
Let's
We're fucking done.